Okay, I'm going to be demonstrating how to get the cloudy, milky finish out of your polished aluminum. And this is what you're going to need. Believe it or not, after I've been trying for a long time to figure out how to fix this, and I just happened to be at O'Reilly's Auto Supply, and I've tried all kinds of different polishes. I'm not even going to name them. There's so many, and I've just been kind of disappointed. Now, the whole process here requires you to clean the aluminum. I'm not going to speculate if it's dirt. It's just some kind of contamination, and you have to clean it properly before you polish anything. Otherwise, you're just polishing this contamination into the aluminum, and it's really hard to get out. So you have to clean the surface and prep it. And if you're doing major polishing, like with airway buffers or things like that, I'm finding that mineral spirits is not good enough, is absolutely not good enough. And when people start polishing, they don't, I mean, I didn't actually clean the surface when I started mine either. So I just started sanding, and I thought that would be clean enough if I sanded it. And that's absolutely not the case. So what you're going to need is the cleaner, this Bondurite, CIC 33 Aero. So I found this process off of a vintage Warbirds forum on polishing aluminum aircraft. So you're going to need that, and it's not local. You're going to have to find it on the internet. It takes a few days to come. It's also known as AlumaPrep, was the former name. AlumaPrep 33, Turco AlumaPrep 33. So, and then I went to Home Depot, got you a chemically resistant sprayer. I've got some cloth here, just like t-shirt material. I have a clean pad. Got some tape here to mask off the area so you can see the difference. I've got this Wolfgang sealer for the end. Here's the actual polish. It's the white diamond metal polish, and you can see it actually says, I don't know if you can see that, it says removes oxidation, discoloration from aluminum, brass, chrome, stainless steel. So that's the stuff. And then I've got some towels, some microfiber towels, some shop towels, and some of these little wool pads for the very end. And then we have a bucket full of clean water. It's very important that the bucket is clean. Every step in this process of cleaning, you have to make sure everything is clean, otherwise you're gonna have bad results. So, okay, so I'm gonna take one of these towels here. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but I'm gonna take the tag off. You always want to take the tags off. And I'm gonna put this in the bucket of clean, warm water. And you're gonna take this Bondurite, and by the way, you're going to need some safety equipment too. Chemically resistant gloves, eye protection, and a respirator. Especially when mixing this stuff, you're gonna need a respirator. I'm obviously not gonna have a respirator on when I'm cleaning it because I won't be able to talk, but I do use a respirator. So you're gonna need to put your gloves on and all your safety gear, safety glasses, everything, and you're gonna mix a 1-to-1 ratio of water into the Spraymaster bottle of the Bondurite. Okay, as you might be able to tell here, I've done part of this panel already. So you can see it's very clear there, and here it turns hazy. Okay, so I'm just gonna mask off this section down below here and do a section so you can see the difference here. Okay, so I'm gonna take a clean towel here with my 1-to-1 mixture of the AlumaPrep or Bondurite, however you want to put it in there. And clean towel all these towels should be clean all the time. You don't want to put this in the water. Use this one to clean. You might have to go through a few. I also have some shop towels to dry the surface, but you need to spray the towel, not the metal. Get a good solution of it. And you're gonna clean the area really well. And you need to let this sit on here for a few minutes. And I'm gonna actually clean the area that I already did. So I've already cleaned this once, actually 4 or 5 times. It's imperative that this, when you dry it, you don't get any black residue. And that's why I use the shop towels. So it's already pretty clean, but your surface will probably be dirty. So you're gonna put it on there. You don't wanna do this in the sun, I don't think. You don't wanna let it dry before putting the water on it, before rinsing it. So you're gonna let that set. You have to go let it sit there. I am getting a little bit of residue off of there, probably from the polished area that I just did. And I'm gonna wet this down again. Again, you're gonna wanna use, it's kind of stinky. It's not so bad once it's in a 1-to-1 dilution. And this will clean, I think if you do a straight, no water, it may etch, but it seems to do pretty well. You'll see the area that I already polished. Obviously, if you leave it on there for a long period of time, it may etch the surface, so a little bit. But this is why keep working the product, and then we're gonna rinse it. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the water here. I'm just gonna wet this down. Kind of neutralize it. You may have to do this 3, 4, 5 times. If you get any black residue, this is a brand new towel, got some black residue on there, and the way you can tell is by taking your shop towel here, putting it into 4s, clean, dry the area really well, and if you get any black residue, you have to keep cleaning it until it's gone. See, it's fairly clean, a little tiny bit here, maybe from one of the creases. If you get up in here, there's obviously going to be some trapped polish, maybe from a previous time, but you need to clean this thing really, really well. And I've already worked on this panel and polished it a number of times, but I could just never get the cloudy milkiness out. So a little bit of residue left over from my polished area, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean it again. I got my towel. This is the one that's only been exposed to the Alumiprep, sorry. A little more, and you're gonna clean this. And the whole area is actually, when you do this, is gonna get more cloudy. Just kind of put it on there liberally. Like I said, I've cleaned this 3, 4, 5 times already. So yeah, you're gonna wanna let this stuff sit a little bit and then come back, just make sure it doesn't dry. Come back and wipe it off with the water. Okay. Just check my towel after. This was a new side. A little bit of dirt here, or leftover material from polish. As you can see up here, I don't know if you can zoom in on this, but I do have polish all up in these areas from trying to polish the area. And I would recommend that before you polish, sand, in between polishing different type of compounds that you do this process. Like I said, I don't believe from my experience that the mineral spirits is good enough. So this seems to work for me. So hopefully it will work for you guys as well. So, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and rinse it again. And look at my towel. I have a little section that does have a little bit of dirt on it, not too bad, or polish. So I'm gonna get to an area that doesn't, so I can make sure that I'm not picking anything else up. My hand is going off onto this towel. Again, down here is probably still dirty. Oh, this is just time consuming. So I picked up a little bit more, but I think it's from the bottom. But we're gonna dry it again with another fresh shop towel here. Okay, so as you can see, it hasn't etched the surface. It's definitely hazy right now. Everything's clean. It's definitely hazy compared to this. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the whole thing to become hazy. So nothing on my towel. So now I can just let this completely dry, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, so I've left it for a few minutes, and if you really get up close here, you can see that in the sun. It's pretty milky. This side's definitely better. I only polished this little area here, but there's no polish on here at all right now. So I did this little corner so you can see it's a lot less hazy. And here's the section that I actually polished, and it's done just this little bit right here. So we want to get the haze out of this, and you can see kind of the reflection. It's not real good there. So I'm just going to section off an area so that we can see the difference in the two. So I'm going to get some blue tape and section off the area here. Okay, so the other piece that I forgot to mention that I'm using is I'm using this 3-inch random orbital Griot's Garage polisher, and I'm using it at a 5 setting. I don't know how many RPMs that is. It goes to it says on the side polish 5 to 6, wax 3 and 4. So I don't go all the way to the 6, but 5 seems to work pretty good. And then I'm going to use this foam pad. It's a little bit larger. This actually has a 2-inch head on it. I have a 3-inch as well. This is a 3-inch pad. Might be a 4-inch pad. But we're not going to actually use this pad. We're just using it on top of, in the bag of rags here that you can get from Home Depot or anywhere. It's basically just a t-shirt, cotton. And I find that this is works much better than if you just use the pad, the microfiber pad, or these foam pads itself. And you need to shake this stuff up really good every time you put a dot on there. And we're gonna put just a dot. It's gonna be, the more the merrier is not the case here at all. Matter of fact, it will be way harder to work with. So we get this open. Okay, so we're just gonna put just a little tiny dot, very small amount on here. And okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do this section here. And just hold this tight. We're going to polish the area. I've got medium pressure on here. And if you're going fast, you're not polishing. Very slow. Just for the initial polishing passes to get the haze out. So this is just one dot of material, so you can imagine if you put too much on here, what's going to happen. And I go in a crisscross pattern when I go up and down. Going a little too fast. And then back and forth this way. I'm going to put a little heavier pressure on it now that the material's all worked in. Pretty good for the first pass. So you can see this turned black. Now if you get any kind of streaks or anything like that, just means you just didn't use enough polish and you have to go. It might actually be a little bit too big of surface area for the amount of polish that I use. I might have needed to cut it in half, but we'll find out. So I'm going to move it to a clean area of the rag here and try and remove this. You don't want to try and remove it with your microfiber towel or another one of these because you're just going to get streaks. It has to be done like this. I'm just going to work it in with the clean part of the towel until it disappears. Going probably a little bit too fast here. I can see now that I didn't use enough polish, so I'm just gonna do this again. Put a little dot on there. Work it in the area. Kind of low to medium pressure at this point. If you have some trouble spots, you might have to put more pressure on it. You want to try and keep it consistent. Move it to a clean area of the rag here. You may be able to use, larger heads and machines and that kind of thing. But this kind of gives you an idea. And this seems to work for me in my 68 Silver Streak truck camper isn't very big, so I like the smaller tool to be able to get in some of these little smaller spaces. So this comes in handy in my opinion. Move it. See, I still got like these little dots and things like that. It just means you need to change the pad, get it to a clean spot, make sure it's tight. So that looks really good, actually. So now I'm gonna set this up here so it doesn't get dirty. Find a clean area of this towel. Just kind of wipe the area a little bit. Okay, just nothing going on there. And then what I'd like to do is take a different towel. And these are big, you may have to cut them. I'm using this Wolfgang Contours metal sealant, and it's new. I haven't had really a lot of experience with this, but I know there's not a lot of really good sealants on the market, at least that are marketed as sealants. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my machine here. Same thing, but clean, flat section of this towel here. You don't want to use where the creases are. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this down to about a 3. You shake this up real good, which I did. Put a little bit, maybe like a dime size of this stuff on there. And then we're just going to seal it. Then we'll give it a couple of minutes and we'll come back after it dries for probably 3 to 4 minutes, and we'll come back and buff it up. Okay, it's been about 4 or 5 minutes or so, and it's hazed up pretty nice. Not that we like hazy. Okay, I still have this on 3, and we're just going to remove this sealant. Not very much pressure at all, just kind of the pressure of the machine. towel here. Okay, a little bit of residue there just from the sealant. Now I'm going to take, I haven't decided yet, I think I'll try these now. These are just like a little wool pad I got on Amazon for the finish. It's clearly too big for my machine, but should work nonetheless. Let's peel that off. Put this on here. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Okay. A little more of the sealant came off, buffed off nicely. And see if I can take this in. Zoom it out a little bit. So there's the section that we did. You can see it's got a pretty mirror shine to it. Here's the yucky area that we didn't do. And let's see what happens here. So now you can really see the difference there. It's really, really good. So if you're getting areas that are still a little bit cloudy, then you either didn't clean it completely all the way and you need to go back and clean it again, or you just need to keep polishing a little bit, but it shouldn't be like crazy amounts. Like I said, I'm gonna do this section in just a couple minutes here. And it came out, I'm really happy with it. I've never been able to get that kind of results this quickly with this little of effort. So it all comes down to surface prep and cleaning. And I think if you're polishing with airway buffers and things like that, then you just need to make sure and clean in between every step, because if you change those grades, and you don't want to have contaminated wheels with different grades of polishing compound, that's a big no-no. So if you're trying to make those scratches smaller and smaller and smaller, you need to make sure that you're using just the pad that is designated for that particular grit, and not mix them. So anyways, you guys have questions, let me know. But